Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Fernleaf Islands. In the last episode, Ronukir and his family set off into the wilderness to try to find their berry paradise, and now they've kind of split off into two different directions. We have Mystic, who is leading some of these creatures over to the tree right here by the water side, and he's actually trying to clear out all of these nests so that he can hopefully start a little family of his own. Then we have Vancouver, who is currently leading his little apprentice Oak through all of this very, very tall grass to try to see if there's anything else over at this tree instead. So this tree by the east, right where the jungle ports are in fact. So we actually want to clear out this area anyway because we are eventually going to make our way to the jungle. First, we just need to make sure that all of our creatures are prepared to take on all of the predators in the jungle in particular. So that's why we're trying to breed the stinky tail on our creatures, the big nose, the warning dots. Right now I believe we have the warning dots inside our mutation menu, so hopefully this means that this will mutate on one of our babies in this episode, fingers crossed, because we are going to see if maybe Willow can start a family with a Mystic back here. She is very, very important for the tribe because she has some different immunity genes from a lot of the other males and females in the pack. She did not inherit immunity gene F, and most of our males right now, basically every single male in the pack has immunity F in their genetics, so she is going to be helpful just because she's going to be able to give us some healthy babies. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for this pairing. Even though they are definitely going to give us babies without the no paws, which is a very good thing, it seems like most of their babies are probably going to end up sick. So Aurora was the last baby born in the last episode, but she does have double immunity gene F, which means that she is going to be sick with a common cold for her entire life. While her life may be shortened, she does have the nimble fingers, so she will at least be able to gather us up a lot of food, especially over by this tree, as so many of our other little critters are passing away. All of the babies who were born from Adam and Eve are actually getting quite old now, so we're moving on to the next generation in the pack, which will hopefully bring us just one step closer to finally making it off to the jungle. I think what I would like to do is bring Mesi over to this spot so she can hopefully drop down another one of those nests. We'll just have to have Dusk breed with her first so that she can actually make a nest right here next to her other one. We'll have her go ahead and drop it down right on this spot, and then she could use her last turn just to peek in a little bit of this grass to hopefully gather up some more material, and then we could have Dusk maybe go over here and gather up the berries instead because he does have those nimble fingers. So that should help us get a little bit more food, and then we could have, of course, Taku come over here and pick up the meat that he gathered in the last episode. Then we could have him knock down a couple more of these acorns and he could gather up those too. Unfortunately, he's all by himself right now, and I don't like leaving him right in the swamp, but we do want him to pick up all of those acorns so that we can hopefully use it for all of these new babies. I am definitely going to leave the mutation menu the way it is because we want to see if we can get those warning dots today, though maybe I'll actually switch these around a little bit, because if we have this in the 30% slot, then it should be a little bit more likely that we'll see that on their babies. I believe both of them have the normal eyesight. They actually carry, they show rather the normal eyesight, but they're carrying the short-sighted eyes in their genetics. So that's why I put the normal eyes in the mutation menu to begin with, just because I don't want them accidentally grabbing both of those short-sighted genes. Now back at our original tree, we have a ton of moles to deal with. Now unfortunately, Maple is going to be a little bit too slow, I think, to actually take care of this mole. Though it depends which way it's turning. If it turns away from Maple, then he might actually be able to jump in there and grab it as long as he can attack. Let's see, does he have any attack strength? He actually has 2 because he has the big body, so he should maybe be able to get that mole after all. Though Elm, the mole hunter, I feel like she is going to be a very, very good mole hunter because she can move actually pretty far, even with her webbed feet. So if we scoot her around the mole this way, then we can actually grab this guy and she'll be able to pick up the meat in the next turn. Now the only problem is that she has made it so Maple can't see the mole anymore because he has the short-sighted eyes. So if we sniff around, then we can actually see that the mole is facing the other way. So let's have him scoot in here and grab the mole for us. There we go. So even though you have the double nimble fingers, even though you are a very, very slow creature, you are still able to actually pick up one of these pesky little moles. So we'll have him gather the meat for this turn, and then it looks like Rain is also going to have to gather up her acorns and her berries too. Now I feel like she and Maple are probably going to become fast friends. These three have kind of been left behind at this original tree. Rain didn't want to leave it, of course, because this is where she was born, and it's the only place that she really remembers her mother. She didn't get to know her very well because she died shortly after she was born, so this is a very sentimental place to her, and she didn't really want to leave it. Little Willow, on the other hand, is making her slow, shy journey up toward the rest of her family. So we'll actually have her scoot up this way past her father. She can make it all the way up here next to all of these berry bushes, which I'm sure she is going to be picking many, many berries from. And then eventually she'll make it up to Mystic. I believe she just has a couple more days to go before she's fully grown, and then they could start a little family of their own. So Mystic, for now, why don't you clear out the grass to prepare for that, because we do want to make sure the area is safe. And then Spruce could actually scoot up this way to connect the area to the other nest that we have under the tree. Now I believe it's just down to Vancouver and his little mentor, so I'm not sure if we should have them make a pathway so that all of the other creatures can follow them when they need to, or if we should just go straight over to the tree and see if there's anything worthwhile there. I mean, I suppose they could always backtrack, but maybe if we're going to do it that way, we want to actually have them go along the shore, because that would be a lot faster. The only problem is we wouldn't be able to see as many berries, and that's kind of the reason why they're on this journey. But wait a second, we have a little bunny down here. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to grab it because Vancouver is just a little bit too slow, but maybe we could scare it enough that we'll be able to grab it later. So Vancouver is sniffing out this little bunny, and he definitely wants to pounce down there to see if he can get it. And look at that, the bunny didn't even move. All right, I guess you made the right decision, Vancouver. I'm sure Oak is going to be very impressed with you. We'll go ahead and swipe it and gather up the meat too, and then he could actually make his way into the grass over here, because I'm pretty sure I saw another bunny. Let's see if we can hear it. There it is, way back there now. So that might be the sort of bunny that Mystic is going to have to deal with instead. As he's pushing out the territory and he's making a little family of his own, he might run into that bunny in the process. Oak could possibly use his last turn to actually light up the area a little bit more though. We could bring him right over here just so that Vancouver can get a little bit closer to the tree in the next turn. But I believe that's actually it for this turn. Everybody has used up all of their energy except for you, Ronukir. You need to pick your berries. There we go. And then we might as well just peek at that berry bush too, so we know it's there, because we don't want to lose that. But otherwise, that is it for this turn. So we just have this little baby being born on this particular night. And I think this is probably going to be one of her last babies. She could possibly have just one more before she passes away, but she will be passing while that baby is born. So as long as we can move little Aurora out of the nest on the next turn, then she should be able to have just one more. And cross your fingers that this one has not only those warning dots in the mutation menu, but also the stinky tail. Unfortunately, somehow Aurora did not manage to inherit the stinky tail, even though Mesi has it in her genetics, and even though Dusk has 2 traits of it on his own, she still managed to receive the swimming tail instead, so I guess it's just a little bit more dominant than that stinky tail. But we'll go ahead and skip the day and see what this next baby looks like. Oh my gosh, look at him. He is almost a spitting image of his mother, Ronukir. I almost feel like we need to keep that name, because I feel like she would definitely be more likely to name this baby since it looks so much like her. He does have the stinky tail too, so there we go, and the big nose, of course, just like his father. That's like the one difference between him and his mother. He does have hemophilia as well, which is a little bit worrying. I guess yeah, she actually had it in her genetics. He didn't have it in his, but that means that he's going to be a little bit more likely to bleed out if he does get attacked. Luckily, we have not had a single instance of carnivores spawning in the grass yet, which is kind of surprising. I mean, even on the easy islands, I know we're just on the larger version of the easy island, but I have always seen like at least one carnivore by now. It's very, very unnerving. It makes me think that they're planning something out in the darkness. But it looks like we can actually move Aurora away from the nest. So let's scoot her right here so that she's still next to her family, because of course she is very, very sick, so we don't want her moving too far away. And then we'll actually scoot Mesi right over to this nest instead, and then she should be able to have one last baby before she passes. Let's have her scoop up some berries, and then Dusk can go ahead and help her as well. We could probably pick that berry bush clean. There we go. So no little bunnies are going to be sneaking in here to try to get those. Now I am wondering if maybe Taku should just destroy this one, because we don't have anyone over here who can actually pick from it just yet. He doesn't actually have any gathering skills because he only has that claw. Luckily, he is able to pick up the acorns since he does have the cracker jaw, but I feel like just to get us that extra food, it might be a little bit more worthwhile to actually get rid of this berry bush. So once these babies grow up with their nimble fingers and they're able to scoot their way over to the tree and hopefully collect some more resources, then we will be able to set somebody up next to it to pick up all of those berries. Oh my gosh, but we actually have a wanderer? Oh my goodness, and she has the double no paws, really? But she also has immunity gene H and F2. So again, that situation where these wanderers are giving us like the worst possible immunity genes. And not only that, but the double no paw, poor little Coco. Now, unfortunately, she's just a little bit too far away from Rain or from Elm to actually invite her. So she's just kind of scoping out the area right now. And for that matter, she almost blends in perfectly with the sand. I wonder if she's more of a fishing creature because she does have that fishing tail. Maybe that's how she's actually survived for so long, because she uses her tail to lure all the fish toward her. But if we could maybe entice her over, like if Elm could get on this side, then she's just close enough to invite. So it seems like she's kind of scooting her way away, or maybe she's going to gobble up some of the meat inside the shells. Maybe that's the case, but we'll go ahead and invite her into the pack so that she can join us. So we definitely need to try to get immunity gene H in our pack, because that's a brand new immunity gene. I know it's going to be a little bit hard because she does have F, and it's going to be a little bit dangerous with her no paws and even her blindness too. So we're just going to have to make sure that we pick a particularly suitable male to breed with her. For now though, we could go ahead and let her pick up her shells like she wanted to. She can gobble up these shells. She could actually scoot over here and gobble up these too. There we go, crack them open with her big cracker jaw. So yeah, she has the fishing tail, the cracker jaw. I feel like she probably spent most of her life right on these shores and we had no idea. That's quite interesting. She's also kind of old too, only 6 days left on her life, so we're actually going to have to figure out pretty quickly who she's going to breed with. For now though, little Rain, you might actually want to scoot up this way because it looks like poor Maple is all on his own in the middle of this darkness. So at least we've managed to connect them a little bit. Unfortunately, that sets her in a location where she can't actually pick up any food, but we could have her knock down the acorn so that she'll be able to on the next turn. And in fact, maybe Elm could scoot over here instead and pick up some of the acorns and the berries so that Rain can spend a little bit more time with Maple. Because like I said, I feel like they would become fast friends, and maybe she could make her way over to some of these other berry bushes instead, just to get a change of scenery, just to bring herself away from this tree for a little while, the tree that she loves so very much. Now Willow on the other hand has one more day before she grows up, so let's have her scoot over here. Oh, look at this! A little bunny, yet another little bunny. So this is not exactly your mission, Vancouver, but you do have another little bunny down here. So I feel like he would definitely jump and try to grab the bunny instead. And he even has a little shell that he can collect too. We have a shell down here, we have the meat, so we'll have to pick that up in the next turn. But Oak, on the other hand, is very, very focused on their initial mission. So why don't we start having him make his way into the grass this way? Oh, there we go. He already found a berry bush for us. Look at that. And it looks like a little bunny might be snacking on this one. Let's see. I don't smell it in the area, but there is definitely a berry missing. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that one because it seems like somebody is still hopping around in the grass. And then we might be able to set up Spruce right by the water side because of course we have these very, very soggy acorns sitting in the water. So he might be just the individual to come over here and scoop them up for us. Yeah, let's have him do that. If we sit him right at the edge of the water, then he could actually reach in and grab the acorn. Okay, so that is going to be your job from now on, Spruce. You're going to have to gather up all of those acorns for us. I feel like he would be a bit of a clumsy creature too. I feel like he would be a little bit clumsy, so every now and then he might reach a little bit too far and slip in and probably embarrass himself in front of his mentor Mystic. I think a lot of the creatures probably look up to Mystic too, so that would be particularly embarrassing for him. But Ronukir, this is one of your very final days as well, so why don't you clear out a little bit more of this grass for us to keep your family safe? And then Willow can spend her time with you picking berries too, so they can chat to each other as they pick from their respective berry bushes. But otherwise, I think that is it for this turn too. We just have a little Maple down here, but unfortunately he doesn't have really anything else to do on this turn. So let's go back over here and see what the very final baby of this pairing is going to be. Little Mesi and Dusk. It's always sad when, oh my gosh, the mothers pass away right when they're born, but look at this one. Oh my goodness, she has the poison fangs and she also finally mutated those warning dots. So the warning dots are going to make our animals look more poisonous, which is going to be particularly helpful when we get to the jungle because there are certain apes in there who are basically looking for the tastiest creatures. So if our babies look a little bit less appetizing, then they'll be less likely to try try to completely obliterate our tribe. I am absolutely smitten by her though. She is so cute. I'm a little bit stuck on what to name her though. Oh my gosh, look at those spots, those little freckles that she has on her. Those are adorable. Oh, they even have them on her tail too. That is so cute. So maybe something to go with Adam and Eve, because of course Adam did have the poison fangs. He was the last creature to actually have them in the pack. She is quite a few generations away from him too. That's quite interesting. So yeah, maybe something to go along with the same sort of theme that Dusk had. We named him Dusk because he looked so much like our Eve. So why don't we actually name her Twilight? I guess that would kind of go along with it too. We were kind of hoping that they would end up being like our warriors, because both of their parents did have the claw, but oddly enough, most of their children ended up with the nimble fingers. Actually, every single one of them has the nimble fingers, and only one has the claw like its father, so that's quite interesting how that turned out. Luckily though, Aurora is the only one who is sick. So the other babies were able to inherit different immunity genes. Actually, they both have A and F. Okay. Now, I believe if I remember correctly, Taku actually does not have F. The only problem with that in regards to Sikoko is that he does have the no paw. So I don't think that would be a good pairing to use, just because we are likely to end up with those creatures with the double no paws, and that's not really going to help us out. I mean, that would be like one step forward with the immunity gene, but then 2 steps back because we would have to deal with so many no paws in the pack. So instead, let's shuffle these babies around a little bit. We'll have Ronukir move out of the nest with the rest of his family, and then we might actually want to pick up these nests too. I don't think they're going to be using these in particular anymore. We just set up like kind of a rushed little camp right next to this rock and this berry bush because Mesi was so close to the end of her life, but I don't think the rest of their pack mates are going to have to use this. So instead we'll gather up the extra material, and then we'll move the nest over to the tree instead. I'm actually hoping that maybe off in the grass over here there's going to be another nest for us to use, one of those permanent nests. It does seem like they're typically by all of the trees, so I feel like it's probably a pretty good shot, but I suppose we could have Dusk scoop up the nest, and then we can have him scoop up his berries too. Oh my goodness. Okay, he got a little bit too overeager there and he swiped up the berry bush as well, but that's okay because that also gives us a little bit of extra material. Now we could have Aurora step over this way to pick up this nest too, and then all of those nests are clear and we have a ton of nesting material to use. And maybe, I wonder if Sikoko and Dusk would be a good pairing? I mean, they're right here together, so she wouldn't have to move too far and we wouldn't have to worry about her passing away before she could possibly pass immunity gene H. And he's probably feeling a little bit upset anyway because his mate did just pass. So that might be a good idea. I mean, I can't really see her moving away from her shores because she loves her shells, she loves her fish, so I can't see her making a grand journey up here to breed with like spruce or something. I feel like she would really stick to the shorelines. So we might have to have her set up a camp right around here somewhere. She could actually make a little nursery right on this little bar of land. Wouldn't that be adorable? Right around all of these shells. Why don't we have her come up here, she'll pick up her shells, and then she could actually scoot up right to this little island, and we could have her make her tiny little nest. Oh, that would be adorable. We'll just have to bring Dusk over there too. We'll have him scoot over this way so that he can breed with her on her next turn, because unfortunately he is out of energy. And then for now we can turn our attention to little Elm, who needs to make her way up to this tree to pick up, oh my goodness, some of our acorns. It looks like we have another little bunny out here too, and there's even one over here. They're just like staring at us from the darkness right now. This is a little bit creepy. We're being invaded by bunnies and all of these moles in the grass. At least the moles are a little bit easier because they are stationary. We do have this one here again that Maple could possibly grab, and we have this bunny in the grass, of course, sneaking a little peek at Willow's bush. So why don't you actually gather up as many berries as you can? And now she's fully grown too, so she can start making her way up to the nest. Unfortunately, this is going to be her father's very last turn, so at least he can rest easy knowing that his family is going to continue because he can see that his little daughter is all fully grown now. So we'll have him maybe like scoot over here just to look in a little bit of this grass, and then he would probably wave goodbye to her and allow her to scoot her way up toward the rest of the nests. So on the next turn, she can also have a baby too with a Mystic. And in fact, if he comes down here, he can clear out a little bit more of this grass for us just to make sure that the nest is safe. We'll have him guard this area by lighting up a little bit more of the darker patches. So can he smell anything in the grass over here? just a ton of roots. Oh my goodness, this would be a perfect spot for those digging paws to really settle down and make a family. So maybe we could try to mutate those onto our pack mates too. That might be a good idea. I mean, we had some pretty good luck with the warning dots finally. So I guess that's a pretty good sign for the mutation menu as far as that's concerned. But you, Spruce, you need to dip your paws back in the water to try to grab those acorns. It would probably be a good idea for him to actually wrap around this island and sit like right here, because then he could actually grab from both of these tiles, so he could get all of the soggy acorns that his little heart desires. And then Elm can finish collecting her acorns. She is going to grow up on the next day too, so she's almost fully grown as well. We can have, of course, a Rain just peek in this grass so the bunny burrow is at least revealed to us. I mean, that is a very, very sneaky little burrow setting up right underneath this respawning grass. Now Rain can make her way over here where the other nest is, and of course the other berry bush. They're going to be sitting on the opposite ends of this nest too. How adorable is that? We'll set her up right there so she can pick a little bit more of those berries, and then Maple can go ahead and pick this entire bush clean for her. I mean, since he has those double nimble fingers, we don't really have to worry about how slow he is because he can pick all of the berries in one swipe. Now Old Man Van Kuvon has been very distracted by all of these bunnies. He only has 5 days left of his life, but he can pick up this bunny meat and then hopefully finally rejoin his little apprentice as they try to clear out this tree. Let's just make sure that there aren't any more bunnies around here though. I think we're safe, so you should finally be able to return to your job. We'll have you move that way. Oak is now fully grown too, so that's good to see. He doesn't have the nimble fingers, so he can't really swipe these all up in one gulp like his siblings can, but we'll have him instead, I guess, just scoot his way into the grass, just like they were planning to before, because they are almost to this tree, finally. We are hoping that they're going to be able to find some more berry bushes. Okay, that's good. So it looks like this might be a very, very opportune location for all of our nimble-fingered babies. We'll just have to see if there's a couple more of those bushes in the area. But for now, that might be it for this turn. So we'll go ahead and skip the day, and I think in the next episode, what we will definitely do is have these two start a little family of their own, so they can make their nest right on top of this tiny little island right here. I think this is probably like the best place, the most ideal place for Sea Coco to start her family, because she loves the ocean, she blends in so well with the sand, and she has all of the shells that she could possibly want to eat. She'll probably teach her children how to do the same, hopefully. Maybe look at the nimble fingers off of their father. That would be particularly helpful, but they are definitely going to have at least one no-paw, which is the drawback. We're just crossing our fingers that they'll have immunity gene H, because that should give us a little bit more freedom to work around with these families. That is the one drawback to this. I know we can survive on just 4 immunity genes, but I really do enjoy having that freedom to create these families and these backgrounds that aren't so impeded by the immunity genes that they have. But things are definitely looking up now that we found Sea Coco. So for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!